Vitality is our ability to have spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical bliss. Some call it paradise. We call it a game.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So this is part 4 of why Black women celebrate the Jezebel spirit. And this time there is a clip. I'm actually going to put the link for the clip in the description box rather than show it here, because I want to start kind of, veering away a little bit from showing the actual video sometimes, just for copyright reasons and all of those sorts of things. But I do want you guys to see when there is a video where it's come from, so you can get a good context of what I'm talking about. But even though I'm going to put the link to the video in the description box so everyone can see it, basically what's happening in the video is only about 30 seconds. And what's going on is Black women are at it again with the twerking. This time it seems to be at like a child's birthday party that's being held in the park, because you can see in the background like the little bouncy houses or whatever. And not only are they twerking, there's one young lady, she's an adult, but she is physically disabled. Okay, as in she's like a paraplegic. She doesn't have any of her legs, and I do believe that both of her arms are missing, at least her hands. Okay. Now there is no context. I don't know what happened to the young lady. However, I don't know if she was born that way or if that was the result of some illness or accident. However, that's not really the point. Not entirely. Because here we have in the Black community, we do try to be inclusive. Like people who are mentally or physically disabled, and the elderly and the children and the sick, and those people who are disadvantaged or in need of help or what have you. We as Black people, we do try to have inclusivity. Like we don't want anybody to not feel normal or feel as though they have to be excluded or feel as though they can't participate in the culture as a full member of a full Black person that can participate in our culture. However, why is our culture so trashy? That's the part, because this young lady is attempting to be normal, which is nothing wrong with that. She's attempting to blend in. She's attempting to be a part of the activities that are going on around her and join in and be like the rest of the young women, even though she has a physical disability, which is fine. I don't have no problem with that. I don't have any problem with that. I feel like just because you may be missing limbs or whatever may be going on with you, you shouldn't feel like you're completely just outcast and that you can't participate with the quote unquote normal people, right? But look at what she chose to do in order to fit in and be seen and be regarded as just regular, just normal. You don't have to pay attention to the fact that I don't have arms and legs and that I'm at a disadvantage. She can't walk around. So obviously her mode of transportation would be a wheelchair, not even one that she pushes with her hands, probably one that she pushes with her mouth, a motorized one, in other words. I don't know if both of her hands are missing or not, because I couldn't see all of her that clearly. But what I could see was her on a like a picnic bench, a picnic table, little seat, twerking. She was like up there, and she was bouncing it too. Like she was bouncing it just as well as the other ladies that had all their limbs. Okay. And so my point is that this young lady chose this mode, this activity, this participation to demonstrate that I'm a part of the culture too. And just because I have a physical limitation doesn't mean that you should regard me as any less or any different than any other Black woman, which on its face, again, I have a problem with. But she participated in twerking and thought behavior. And that's normal. See, we can no longer Black women can no longer as a collective come and cap to say that this is a one-off, that Black women don't as a whole and as a general collective participate in thought culture completely. This is what Black women do. Actually, the women who don't participate, the Black women who don't participate in thought culture, that you wouldn't find somewhere on the internet twerking or gyrating or whatever she's doing, and we're actually in a minority. So even if you've got a woman who, you know what I'm saying, isn't, you know, wholesome, quote unquote, necessarily, she still got enough decency as a woman to not put her business in the street. Like I'm going to do what I do, but at least I'm going to have the decency to do it quietly. You know, I'm not going to let everybody, you know what I'm saying, see everything that I'm doing. I'm not going to participate in normalizing it publicly, right? But Black women have normalized Jezebel and thought behavior. The twerking, see, we know it's normalized because Black women of all walks of life, shapes, sizes, looks, participate in it. It doesn't matter what part of the social economic scale she fall on, whether she's a hood ghetto chick that's twerking somewhere barefoot, or whether she's Sierra in Italy, you know, twerking at some type of a banquet or ball or party or whatever she was at as a married woman, as a wealthy woman. We've got the fine chicks with the bad bodies, you know what I'm saying, twerking, and then we got the not so beautiful women with the not so bad bodies, you know, doing the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? So it's natural. So we engage as Black women in this twerking as a universal form of celebration of the value of being women, which is why even in young people's or children's events or in the presence of children, all of that is fair game, right? And so basically, we should not exclude a disabled person from full participation in the culture, but what we need to do is make the culture better. Culture's trash. So in order to feel normalized, this young lady can't sit somewhere and show how intelligent she is, or show that I can be an artist even with no legs and arms. I can play an instrument, or I can paint, or I can draw, or I can still do things. I can still, you know what I'm saying? And it's impressive because even though I'm at a deficit, I still can contribute to the society in a very meaningful way and have a good quality of life still. No. We twerk on the picnic table at what looks like to be a kid's birthday party. That's how we find empowerment. That's how we display our inclusion within the trashy culture that we have, right? So we normalize sexualizing every woman, and every occasion and event is fair game because twerking is celebratory. We're trying to make it seem as though twerking is not a sexual thing, and it most definitely is. That's really all it is. So when we show up like this as Black women, we're really asking to be disrespected publicly and also sexually, right? And that sexual disrespect is actually, we put it on display for public consumption. Because let's be real again, twerking is sexual. Twerking is sexual. Bouncing your butt and twirling your hips in the most seductive way you can, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, hands on your knees, and you all bent over, you all scooped on the floor, that is sexual. It's nothing else but that. That's all that it is. That's really the only thing that it is. And any woman who engages in it is attempting to portray herself as a sexual creature that love having sex, that love being entered, that love being penetrated, and that love to have men to have us in all of these nasty sexual ways. Really, our men. The man I'm in a relationship with, the man that I'm married to. That, at least that's how it should be. But the issue is that we don't keep it contained within the confines of relationship. We actually put this energy out into the public. That's why that people feel wondering why. If you're wondering why people make a big deal out of black women twerking, this is why. In public. Right? The issue for the black female collective is that we have this desire to be lusted after sexually and then have that sexuality and that desire broadcast to the world. And that's why we actually call it being for the streets, because that sexual energy and that desire is very normal and very natural, but it's actually disastrous when we display it for everyone, for every man, no matter who he is. And it's not even necessarily directed at any specific man, but all of them. But all of them, anybody that happen to be watching. Because anytime a bunch of black women get together to twerk, best believe it's gonna be a man. If a man around, he got his phone out like, yes, I'm capturing that. Because what's normal? Let's have a little bit of a conversation about that. Let's have a little bit of a conversation about female sexuality real quick. Women love to be in sexual encounters and situations with their men where they can leave a dignity at the door. Yeah. So for all of those who got a Madonna whore complex and you can't get over why your wife, you know what I'm saying, wants you to smack her in the face with an eggplant, I suggest you start thinking about that more deeply. Okay? That's where the whole saying comes from, be a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. Why? It's not just for male pleasure. See, we got to get over this whole thing that women should not enjoy sex, and if she does, she's a whore. And that's what makes her for the streets. No, it's not. What makes her for the streets is when she doesn't confine this energy in a relationship with her husband. That's what makes her for the streets. When she makes it public, when any man can come eat off the buffet. When any man can come and get a little piece. That's what being for the streets is about. But you get a wife and she want to leave her dignity at the door when she come in the bedroom. We gonna leave my dignity right there. Because when we get in here to do what we about to do, I don't need you to be respecting me like that. That's real talk. I don't need you to be holding me on no high moral pedestals. And I don't need you to be looking at me differently after. I need you to pull hair. I need you to smack butts. I need you to call names. And act a fool. And I'm going to act a fool right with you. We're going to be happy to do it. And when we're done, when it's time to hit that boardroom, when it's time to hit that gala, when it's time to hit that business meeting, when it's time to go and say and schmooze and rub elbows with your colleagues, I pick my dignity back up and we go do it. Everybody at the boardroom table don't know, you know what I'm saying, that just this morning I was all kind of B's and 304s and sluts. Okay? And we laughed about it and joked about it and was hot over it. They don't got to know that. So when we come to the board meeting and you know what I'm saying, I show up decked out, beautiful, elegant, classy. I don't need to be classy in the bedroom with my husband. I don't need no class. What I need classy for? That's what's for public consumption, the classy. That's for public consumption. For private consumption with my husband, that's where the whore come out. And that twerking is a promise. It's an implied promise. You see the way I'm bouncing this thing on this table? I'm gonna ride you like that. That's the promise. See the way I twirl and roll? I'm going to ride you like that. I'm going to bounce on you. This is what you can have. The way I move my body, the seductive way this is what you're going to get. Right? It's a promise of the fun that you're going to have with me if only you come over here to me. All you got to do is come over here to me. And it's disastrous when any man is invited that way, because women control sexuality. We control sex and the access and the gateway to it. Right? So thought culture as a whole has worked to devalue women by removing the order of men, right? And the social restrictions on the behavior of women. Then what followed was liberation. And what liberation in this sense meant that women could let go of the natural shame and the natural modesty that come with her femininity and that come with her female nature. So without any social ramification, without any sort of backlash or repercussion or accountability or responsibility for it, women felt free to be uninhibited. This is essentially what feminism did and how it works to devalue women. To take what's natural to women and pervert it and have the women perpetuate that perversion. This is why it was important for women have always been the gatekeepers of sex, but it was the order of men that controlled how that sexuality was displayed publicly, not privately, publicly. Okay? So sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you're not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.